I want you to respect them, understanding that these are not literal, but inshallah they're valid. So let's take, for example, reference to zoos, zoological gardens. And so this is a valid reading of وَإِذَا الْوُحُوشُ حُشِرَتْ in Surah At-Takwir, which is number 81, verse number 5. And when the wild beasts are gathered together, and that is a sign of the Day of Judgment, isn't it? It's in Surah At-Takwir. Is it literal? No. Because the literal meaning of that is quite different. So we're not going to say that was wrong. That would be a mistake. But we're going to say this is an allusion, an ishara also to zoos. Okay, can you do that? I mean, see, this is taking the verses very seriously. It's not arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. So the modern zoo, which is a 19th, 20th century phenomenon, it goes hand in hand with imperialism and, you know, with their attitude towards other people, museums, and other animals. But for the first time, all the wild animals are gathered together. Now, the basic meaning of that verse is about on the Day of Judgment, God will bring the wild animals back to life and gather them together. And we could talk about what that means. And there are hadith about that in other verses. So that's when it is a sign, it's actually the judgment itself. But here, it can refer to that. And also, from the standpoint of Sheikh al-Ghumari and many other scholars, the zoo is haram. You know, because of the fact that animals have rights, whether they are domestic or wild. And they have a right to live the way that God created them to be. So you have to let the lion be free, and the gazelle, and the other animals. You don't lock them up in cages. Of course, our zoos today generally try to do better, but still, that's not the way these animals were created to be. Also, it's believed that that is a misuse of wealth. So this is the inversion of the economic order. Because where did you get all this money to bring all these animals all this distance to feed them when they're poor people on the earth? When they're people starving and other things. That's not the proper use of wealth. And so most commentators will see this differently, but it's valid to read it that way.